Good afternoon. Welcome to the John Gaunt podcast. 15,000 illegal migrants have already crossed the channel this year since Christmas, and we're on track for 50,000 for the year. Labour scrapped the one plan that might have stopped it, and now the UK is footing the bill. And let me tell you, it's at least £4 million a day. This is a crisis. Join in if you fancy. The UK migration crisis is exploding this weekend. Labour scrapped that Rwanda deal. I wasn't convinced myself, but even so, they scrapped it. There's no deterrent. Crossings are surging, and we're burning through billions of your money and my money. This isn't just a policy mistake, my friends. It's a national emergency. They're still arriving by the thousands. 1,200 the other day. Boats packed to the brim, as you can see in my photo behind me. And whilst we Brits struggle to pay the bills, we're putting illegal migrants up in 3- and 4-star hotels. Why? I think now I've come to the conclusion it's because Starmer on day one killed the Rwanda plan. It was obviously going to work as a deterrent. I was wrong. I didn't think it was going to work, but we haven't got anything now, have we? And here's the poll to prove it. A massive 74% of Brits, people like you and me, this is according to YouGov this weekend, say that Labour is failing on immigration. And it's no wonder. It's the thing that us Brits think they're failing on the most. And let's face it, they're failing on lots of stuff. They scrapped the Rwanda plan. The boats haven't stopped. And now it gets even worse. The French are demanding even more money to stop the boats coming. They want more cash if they actually go into the shallow water and stop the boats leaving the beach. It's absolutely outrageous. We are being taken for mugs. We are being taken for fools by the gangs, by the migrants themselves, by the French, and indeed by the hotel owners, many of them multinational companies, and also, I would say, by companies like Deliveroo and Uber, who are obviously employing these people, therefore giving a magnet for more of them to come. Today, what we're going to try and do is work out how we stop them. So if you've got some ideas, please let me hear them. It isn't about the individual migrant. This is a numbers game, an absolute numbers game. We'll start with a few comments, then we're going straight into what I want to say. Ronnie Hurst says, stop the hotels, put them in tents. I've been saying that for weeks, Ronnie. You are absolutely right. Not in primitive conditions, army-style tents, barracks, so that they're looked after, but that they can't show a video. Look, I'm in a hotel. It's got a swimming pool. It's got a sauna. 3 meals a day. Everything's great. Come on, get on the boats. Get over it. That's what we're doing at the moment. It's not just a green light. It's a flashing green light. Do you agree or not? They're not failing, says Carol Harrod on YouTube. It's deliberate. A lot of people are coming to that conclusion. I'm not sure, Carol, but thank you for your comments. Gruner says, afternoon, John. Afternoon to you, my friend. They're not failing. It's planned. Another person saying the same as Carol. That's David Collins. Thank you for your opinion. Starmer is grooming the nation, says Steady Eddie. What does that mean, mate? Expand on that a bit more if you can, and then we'll talk about it. The French will not stop them. It's too dangerous for the police. What, going in the shallows? Plus, they don't want to get their feet wet. Very good, Ronnie. I tell you what they don't want. They don't want the migrants in France, in Calais, which is why they're going, on you go, on you go. But wait till I tell you about how much more money they're demanding out of us and how much we've already paid them. Travel and trade ban with France would be a good idea for starters, says Gruner. Thank you, Gruner, for your comments. Right, let's get down to it. If you're liking what I'm talking about, press the like button. Smash that button if you can. If you want to reward me, feel free to click the dollar sign and send me a super chat or a super sticker. Whichever way you want to support me, please do it. This is an extra show. I was just sitting there getting angrier and angrier about this migrant situation, looking at all the Sunday papers online. They're not taking it seriously enough. We have now got to get real tough, real tough. No messing about now. We need to do this properly. Are you with me or against me? Keir Starmer, as I say, he scrapped the Rwanda plan. Now, listen, hands up. I kind of agreed with that because I thought, well, you can't even get them back to Calais. How the hell are the Tories? And it was the Tories' idea, of course. How are you ever going to get them to Africa? Well, the truth is, maybe we didn't have to get them. We just needed a couple of flights to take off. It would send a signal back to Calais, and they might not think of coming. Just like that guy just said in the show then, if you got rid of the hotels, maybe they wouldn't come. Maybe if we cut the benefits down even further, they won't come. And of course, what we've got to do is leave the ECHR. I'm glad to see that Kemi Bannock, she's talking about that now. But we've got diverted a bit with the veil. Not the veil, the, what do you call it? The hijab, the burqa, the rest of it. We should stop that discussion because that discussion's over. We're not going to have them in this country. That's what we should just say. We're not having burqas like all the other countries have already banned it. Denmark, Netherlands, Austria, Spain, Italy. Just ban it and get on with it and then concentrate on this. But today I'm going to show you why I think it's multifaceted in how we've got to stop it. The consequences of stopping Rwanda are already exploding. A new YouGov poll I was telling you about earlier shows immigration is now seen by us, the Brits, as the worst handled issue under Labour. And let's face it, they've cocked up everything since they got into power. This is a YouGov poll, 8,500 people across the country, and you can see what the British public are saying. A staggering, it's a massive number, this. 74% of us Brits say the government, Starmer's government, Labour government, is doing a bad job on immigration. Over half, 52% of people, say it's being handled very badly. And this is just the beginning. Labour promised competence. Do you remember that? But what we're seeing is chaos. What is your view? Already, 15,000 illegal migrants have arrived in the UK at Dover this year. And they're just the ones we know about. We're on track to hit 50,000 by the end of the year. As I keep saying, this is unsustainable, period. It looks like the mainstream politicians are beginning to wake up to it, but we've got to keep the pressure on them because this is not migration. This is the total collapse of border control. Do you agree with me? Lots of people coming through now on the comments. That's great to see. Let's have some more. And don't forget, keep smashing the like button. It helps the algorithm, which means, therefore, more people get the video pushed to them, which means we get more listeners, more viewers, which builds the channel for me. And don't forget, the channel is JonGauntTV on YouTube. Subscribe. It's completely free. Then you'll never miss your show. So when I suddenly decide to do one, like I've done today, a bonus, you get a little notification it's coming. If you want to reward me, you can either buy me a beer, buy me a coffee at www.buymeacoffee.com/JonGaunt and donate anything from £5 upwards, or you can do it here on YouTube on Super Chat and Super Sticker. If you're listening later, you can still do it. And if you're listening on a podcast, you can still like and appreciate the show and go to Buy Me a Coffee and buy me a coffee. We need the cash to keep it going. Okay? You got it sorted. All right, let's get moving. Coming to your comments in a moment. I promise you, this is going to be a humdinger of a show. So Kemi is now getting tough on the burqa. She also says she's going to get tough on this. But let's not forget, the Conservatives are to blame for the mess we're in as well as Labour. All the mainstream politicians. And, of course, being in the EU didn't help. And the European Court of Human Rights, that's got to go. I never thought I'd say that. I never thought I'd say Rwanda was a mistake getting rid of it. In fact, I've argued for it or for it not being scrapped. But I was wrong. And now We have to have that kind of deterrent. Are you with me or against me? We're going to also talk about the unscrupulous hoteliers who are making a fortune off the back of these migrants and are nicking the money out of our wallets. If you've got a view on any of this, I want to hear it. Feel free. Get sending in your messages now. So despite this flood, some people call it an invasion. Do you know how much money we've given to France over the past 10 years? Like I say, it's the Conservatives as well as Labour. Do you know how much we gave them to stop the boats? It's 800 million pounds. I had to check this figure. So it's nearly £1 billion that France, and I'm going to say it like this, they've stolen from us. They're doing nothing to stop the gangs or stop the gangs transporting the people. Now they want even more money. Why would we give them any more cash? They haven't done the first job correctly. And they don't want to get their feet wet. Did you see the videos last week where they were literally waving the migrants goodbye? So they want more money now so that their police officers will actually go into the shallow waters before the boats really get motoring and stop them. That's blackmail, isn't it? And we should say unequivocally none. Do you like me French? We've got to stop this. The French are taking the PISS out of us. They're in France. Last time I looked, France was a safe country. They can stay with you, Macron. Or we can work together. We'll take some, you have some. But overall, we're going to stop it. See, it doesn't matter whether your cliche is smash the gang, smash the avocado, bash the bishop. It doesn't matter. All of you in the establishment have failed. Absolutely failed. You should hang your heads in shame. And instead of throwing more cash at France, I've got an idea what to do, Starmer. Let's crack down in this country. I know there's a video of you arresting some guys on a caravan site, and they were doing deliveries. They all have those motorized bicycles outside the caravans. They're doing black market jobs. I told you about this a few weeks ago. There's a loophole that if they say they're self-employed, the employer doesn't have to check their nationality and whether they have got a right to be in the country and work. So these huge delivery companies, you know the ones I'm talking about, Just Eat, Deliveroo, Uber, all of them, doesn't mean they're all doing it to the same extent, but they're not cracking down on their bike riders. Why do they all wear a mask when they're on their bikes? Why? Well, because they don't want to be identified. That's why. And so this is a magnet. Somebody tells one of them, oh, when you get here, we'll get you a bike and you can do this job. Because you will say you're self-employed. And when you're not feeling up to it, your mate can use your bike. There's no checks. There's been an absolute explosion of home deliveries, food deliveries. It's like the nail bars and it's like the Turkish barbers. I know Nigel Farage got laughed at when he brought it up, but everybody now knows what's happening. There aren't that many places that need 6 or 7 barbers in the high street. They're fronts for drugs and laundering. They should be launderers. They're washing drug money. Likewise with the nail bars. Likewise with these delivery companies. Starmer, get tough on them. Just say that from a week on Monday, everybody's got to have an NI number. Everybody has got to prove their identity. And I'll tell you what we're going to do, Mr. Starmer. We're going to come in to the office of Deliveroo in Coventry or Uber or wherever it is, yeah? And we're going to say, right, before anybody goes out on your bikes, show me your IDs. We could solve this problem. We could solve this problem. Why don't they want to do that? Why don't they want to do it? No ID checks, no taxes, no enforcement. This has to end. Are you with me or are you against me? So you see what I mean? I'm not just blaming the people who want to get here. I'm saying the whole system is corrupt. Are you with me or against me? Let's take some more comments. Gruner says, travel and trade ban with France would be good for starters. Yeah, and block the fishing. I agree with you completely. Get the traitor out now, says David Edwards. Well, yes, David, apart from what I've just said to you, this problem, if we're being fair to Starmer, goes back ages, goes back way past him, past Rishi, past Liz Truss, past Boris Johnson. They've not taken it seriously. And anybody who's dared to say, hang on, this is wrong, why are we letting all these undocumented, and that's what they are, undocumented men of fighting age into our country, you've been called a fascist or a racist. Have you seen that Prevent? I must tell you about this as well. Prevent, you know, the organisation that failed 3 times to stop Axel Rudakabana, the man, and he was a man, who went on to slaughter 3 innocent children and severely injure 10 others and a nursery teacher. Him, up in Southport, 3 times he was referred to Prevent. There was about as much use as a chocolate fireguard, a packet of condoms in a priory. Well, let me tell you, 3 times they could have stopped him. They did naff all. But let's hear the latest advice from Prevent. Evidently, if you're concerned about mass migration, like me or you, and you're concerned about that it might be changing our country for the detriment, you are a potential terrorist. That's what they're saying. Fair enough, a lot of the politicians said, no, that's not what we want. But who gives Prevent the job in the first place? The head of Prevent left after the actual Rudakabana deal. But I bet that person's gone and got another job in the same sector, looking after the nonces and looking after the asylum seekers and looking after the illegals and looking after all the rest of it. They are more concerned, these people, with the rights, never the responsibilities, the rights of the villains or the illegals than they are of me and you. And the thing that sticks, you're paying for it. I'm paying for it. It's got to stop. This nonsense has got to stop. And it's not racist to say I'm concerned about how many people are getting in the country illegally. In fact, it's not even an element of racism. It might be racist to say I want to keep, well, it would be racist to say I want to keep Britain all white or stuff like that. Yeah, but no one's saying that. They're trying to stop free speech again. Oh, and it's interesting, isn't it? Have you noticed? I don't know whether you noticed, it was hardly in the papers. On Friday, the 3 alleged attackers of Keir Starmer's old properties, the Ukrainian models, they were in court. Well, they weren't in court. It was by video from prison. They didn't have to actually go to the court. It was the first part of their trial. They were only in there for about 5 minutes. And again, as I say, it was virtual. And it wasn't for them to plead. The pleading's been set, I think, for August, right? It's incredible. The trial isn't going to be till next April. If anybody knows anything about the law, I know we do have a few barristers listening and solicitors, let me know. Is somebody playing games with us here now? The Prime Minister's property, or ex-properties, have been under attack by 3 allegedly Ukrainian people, and we're not having a trial as quick as possible. Wouldn't you want to know if there was some sort of conspiracy, whether his life's in danger, or whatever angle you want to know? Wouldn't you want to know? Why they put it off till April? You might want to comment. You can't blame those that are coming here for a better life, says Graham Hatton. Exactly, Graham, I agree with you. The blame lies squarely at the feet of this impotent government, and more directly, that treacherous git that resides at 10 Downing Street. You mean our glorious leader? Are you talking about Keir Starmer? Oh, you cheeky thing, Graham. Denise Deacon, but I agree with you. Denise Deacon, the French want more money, question mark. We should demand the money back that we've already given them. Yes, Denise. Remember, it's almost £1 billion they've had over 10 years to stop the boats. They've done naff all. Absolutely naff all. Put them on a cruise ship. Who's this? Sorry, I've lost you. Put them on a cruise ship, says Ronnie Hurst. Process them. If then you can't prove where you come from, you put them into secure tents. Plus, make the boats illegal to buy within the EU, and that would stop them. Yeah, that's not a bad way of putting it. Although somebody told me most of the boats are coming from Turkey, and then they come overland. Well, I'd imagine most of them are already inflated. Can't somebody stop this? I just find the whole thing ridiculous. They're obviously reusing the boats. And then the narrative we get given is that there's these gangs and they're so evil and they're exploiting these poor people. Well, I'm sure some of them are fleeing persecution, but the majority aren't. The majority aren't. They're just coming to better their life and they're willing to pay to get in. If you take away the 4-star hotels, if you make sure they know they're not going to get any money, right? They will get fed and watered and looked after, but that's it. But they're not going to stay in a hotel with squeezy soap. And they're not going to be able to work in the black economy. Because if they do, they're going to go to prison or be immediately deported. And their bosses will go to prison. If you had that kind of deterrence, it would stop, wouldn't it? And if they knew when they got out of the inflatable, they were going to get severe questioning. Where you from? No, where you from? I've got 15 different interpreters here. Which language do you understand? Where's your passport? What? Did you throw it in the water on the way in? We've just got to get like this, haven't we? And then before the boats even land, we need to tow them back to France and say, spend your £1 billion on looking after them. I'd say give them all a British passport. Say you're no longer an asylum seeker. Kick them out of the hotels. Give them only job seekers allowance. And then see how long they'll stay. I don't know whether that would work, but thank you for your comments, Carol. Sharon Walker, you never miss a beat with what you're saying. Is that a compliment? I hope it is. Thank you very much indeed. Dale C. McKay Godwin. Trump had the National Guard in Los Angeles yesterday. Yes, he did. He put 2,000 of them into the city. I was out rounding up illegals and all the street protesters, you're in America, right, started chopping up blocks of pavements and curving and were throwing them at the ICI, right? That's the people who were trying to take away the illegals. I saw the police in their vehicles. I cannot and I don't understand ignorant people. Why don't they have all these illegals that Biden opened the door, give him money, give him a food card, give him a place they can stay, give him everything? Why don't they invite them into their home and let them lodge there? Thank you, Dale, for that American perspective. It's interesting that you say those things. We've got liberals in this country as well. They're always saying that people like me, that I'm a fascist, I'm a Nazi. Well, for saying that if you want to come and live and work in our country, you've got to say who you are and where you're from, and you've got to contribute. I don't think so. 3 government petitions to sign ASAP. It only takes a few seconds at UKGov. 1. Shut down migrant hotels. 2. Stop all the financial support. 3. Ban all face coverings. If you value your country and culture, you should sign that. Thank you, Andrew, for your comments. Right, let's get back to my agenda for a wee moment, if we can, and then I'll come back to the rest of your calls and your views. So it's no ID checks, no taxes, no enforcement. It's just got to end. Just got to end. Right now, the UK is spending, let's just talk about the hotel bill. It's an obscene amount. It's £4 million pounds a day and rising on asylum hotels. Let me just tell you what the maths is in that. That's £1.5 billion a year on 3 and 4 star stays, nice little hotels, sort of hotels you stay at if you're on a business trip. 3 meals a day, and of course they've got a flat screen telly as well. I'm sorry, I don't want to treat these people as if they're out and out criminals, they're murderers and rapists, because I don't believe the majority are. But there comes a point where you say, no, we're taking the mickey, especially when our veterans are on the street, our heroes. They haven't got a house to live in, and we're putting people up like this. People who don't even want to say where they're from or why they're from there. And it wouldn't be so bad if there hasn't already been crimes associated with these people. Violent, terrible crimes. And of course, then there was the Iranians who got in this way, who wanted to blow up the Israeli embassy. I say enough is enough. Move them now, immediately, this week. I've been saying this for about 8 weeks. Move them into army-style tents, or use the old Nightingale, or the big hospitals we did for COVID, or the big warehouses. Put them in there. So they're still being treated humanely, but it's not very pleasant. Now, before you shout at me, other countries do it. Why can't we? Why can't we? But I'll tell you what we've done instead, particularly Labour. They've created a golden ticket system, promising an El Dorado of free housing, illegal work, and lifetime benefits to anyone who arrives. I'm sure a lot of these people do want to work, but hold on a minute, we've got enough unemployed who need the jobs already. And we've got people coming through the legal migration route who want those jobs. Why should these people be able to jump the queue? Am I being reasonable? So unless Labour ends the incentives, simply the boats won't stop. The UK is skint. The people in this country are angry. When you go to the pub or you talk to people, this is all they want to talk about. And this country cannot afford to be a soft touch any longer. So, in conclusion, the mistake that Starmer made, the big mistake, and I'm putting my hands up as well because I kind of agreed with it, is scrapping Rwanda, because it has undoubtedly now opened the floodgates. So it's time to do a U-turn on that. It's time for real border control. No more virtue signalling, no more hotel bills, no more squeezy soap, and no more illegal jobs delivering pizzas and Chinese meals and any other kind of takeaway to you. Get off your fat lardy backsides and go and buy it. Don't give these companies your money. But the government could clamp down on these companies overnight. Absolutely overnight. Not just a little token gesture. Oh, we went to a caravan site in Skegness and 18 guys have been apprehended because we don't think they should be in the country. No. Go straight to the distribution centres. Doesn't take the brain of a rocket scientist to work out how to do it. So here's my questions to you. Was scrapping the Rwanda plan a massive mistake? If you're liking what I'm talking about, please press the like button on the video or on the podcast if you're listening to the audio. And please subscribe. Press that subscribe button for more unfiltered truth on UK politics and immigration and anything else that's in the news. I just say it as I see it. I'm not saying I'm right, but I want you to tell me what you think. Right, Fraser Ford says, great video. Thank you very much indeed. That's Dale again. He says, what's happened to the UK? This makes me sick. The home of our ancestors. He's a patriot in America. Ronnie Hurst says, what about ID cards? Well, I can see that coming, but I can see us all losing our civil. I've always been quite in favour of ID cards because I haven't got a problem with it. Because I think if you look in your wallet or your back pocket, all your ID's there anyway, isn't it? Your driving license, your blooming credit card. They're tracking you on your phone wherever you walk. So I think that's already gone. But I don't understand. I just don't understand this idea. They throw away their ID so they can't get sent back. We've surely got to be able to solve that loophole. Thank you very much, everybody who's pressed the like button. It helps. And if you haven't done it yet, do it now. Thank you to anyone who's contributed. I haven't seen one come through yet, but I'm sure people are. Thank you for doing that. Press the dollar button on your video. Remember, this is an extra show. No extra charge. I just needed to get this off my chest, and it wouldn't wait to tomorrow. Right, what do we got now? Pay France and claim a refund for everyone who reaches our shores. I'm sure the French will soon owe us money. Yeah, I like that. Like a pay-to-play sort of deal. I quite like that. Kick the can down the road soon. It will lose interest for the bum. I don't understand. Fraser, I don't understand what that means. Try and look at what you've written before you press send. Coming for a better life. They're coming for your life, more like, says Mark on YouTube. Thank you, Mark. Maggie Young, here she is. She donated the other day. She says, Denmark just stopped benefits for illegal immigrants. It worked. Well, to be fair, Margaret, they don't get much here, do they? But I take your point. I think if you put them in tents, still treat them humanely, and for the people who are already here, move them to tents straight away. They'll soon get the idea that they need to leave. People who arrive now, don't let them land. Put the Navy in the channel. Put the army on the beach. Do what Donald Trump's done in America. Don't even let them land. And as for the French, well, they're stealing our money. How else could you describe it? They're stealing our money. Make them British citizens, so they're entitled to. We pensioners get what? So make them British citizens, so they're entitled. So we pensioners get. They would soon shut off. Oh, they'd get what we pensioners get. Sorry, yes, I understand now. Thank you. See, Desert Skies just said deport them all. Well, where to? See, it's got to be a bit more than just deport them all. Mark says they could close the borders today under national security measures. Yeah, well, that's exactly right. That's what Nigel Farage has been saying. We should declare a state of emergency and then close our borders completely. I'm kind of that opinion as well. Certainly something drastic has now got to happen. I mean, the figures, when I read them this morning, and that 74% of people now say this is the biggest failure of Labour. What is this useless idiot going to do about it? What is he going to do about it? He'll probably just give us another lecture on diversity as our strength or something, won't he? You need to get a grip, Starmer. I mean, it's too late. No matter what you do now, you're not going to save your miserable skin. And, of course, it's a big week this week, Wednesday. Rachel Thieves is doing her statement where she's just going to take more money off people who shouldn't have it taken off them. She's going to perform more U-turns than Stig in Top Gear because she's going to end up letting most pensioners get the winter fuel allowance. Why she ever took it off them in the first place is beyond me. But then if there's a few disabled people around, she'll probably kick them out of their wheelchairs and get them to walk. I just can't believe that this is meant to be a Labour government. And what they're doing is the usual trick. Socialism's brilliant until you run out of other people's money. And that's what's happening here. No such thing as the law abiding illegal immigrant. Fact. Well, Mark, yeah, that is a fact. Obviously, it's a logical fact. But that kind of language just builds up and builds up because you're picking on the individual rather than saying what's the causes. And I'm trying to explain to you today what they are. I think the hotels have become extremely rich off the back of it. There's another story about a boat company who have basically been hiring us 3 catamarans to pick up the illegals, even though we've got our own border control boats, but they're too busy picking up the people who are drowning, right, and patrolling. Then you've got the delivery companies, like I've been going on about today. Why can't we clamp down on them? Etc., etc. So we need to look at it a bit like that, Mark, and say, right, how do we approach this? What they want, them, the establishment, they want you to turn against other people. That's what the game they always play. There's the bogeyman. It's the game they play to keep you, me, us in our place. We've got to be a bit more sophisticated than that. And like this week ahead is going to be hell on earth because she hasn't got a clue what she's doing. Just my views. Right, that's us done. That's 34 minutes in the can. Unless you've got a very, very salient point and you want to make it immediately, I shall say thank you very much indeed. See, again, Mark, you just keep coming out with the same crap. You're getting on my nerves, Mark. Because you are defeating the argument. He now says, do not donate to the RNLI taxi service. The RNLI, I agree with you, are being abused to a certain extent. But you don't tell people to stop doing it. What if you needed them? And their job is to help people who are in distress. Do you want these people? There's been over 250 die in the channel. I don't. And I think the language that Katie Hopkins used years ago about them being cockroaches is disgraceful. So I don't want that filth here. I want to look at the whole picture and be logical. Otherwise, you, Mark, and anybody who comes out with that kind of crap, you'll just be written off as far-right extremists, racists, and you won't achieve anything. Dear God, get your head out of your arse and understand how you're being abused. I'm sorry, Mark, to have a go at you, but it's true what I'm saying. Don't play their game for them. Don't play their game. Then he says, well, don't let them come in the first place. That's what we're talking about, you idiot. About how to stop it in an holistic way, not in your moronic way. Please, Mark, lift yourself up. Otherwise, Starmer will carry on getting away with what he's getting away with. It's the game they play. Craig Urquhart's been a little bit cleverer. He says, get them on the cruise liners and sneak them back to France under the cover of darkness. No, that was probably the only time the French were awake. Anyway, sorry, I just lost my rag then. Just when people don't understand the bigger picture, it really frustrates me because what they're doing then, the establishment, is using you. And then they point to you. It's like when people go on those Tommy Robinson marches and then start pissing against a statue or something, or a wall. Don't you see that's what they want? That's the picture they want, to put you down, to say you're an animal. So you've got to be cleverer. I mean, Tommy Robinson himself has acknowledged this and realised this. Nigel Farage has to a certain extent as well. It's not about racism, you idiots. It's about being fair and tolerant, about being British. Well, there's a few listeners I've lost. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for watching. I'll be back on Monday, 6:30 tomorrow, if you want to join in then. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, completely free, JonGauntTV on YouTube. Then you'll never miss a show, and that's the best way to keep in touch with what I'm doing. If you do want to donate, hit the dollar button, or whatever it is, and do a super chat or a super sticker, or alternatively, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. I quite enjoyed that. Lost my rag a bit at the end. I've got to go and cook the dinner now. But thanks for joining in. See you tomorrow at 6:30. Until then, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, hey, hey. Don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.